Hi, welcome to this week's case review from Shanesmithlaw. My name is Shane Smith, and I'll be talking to one of the attorneys at Shanesmithlaw about one of their recently settled cases. Hi, I'm Shane Smith. I'm here with John Mobley from Shanesmithlaw. We want to talk about one of the cases he just recently settled. And tell us about Miss J.H.
So Miss J.H. was a client of ours, a young lady who was involved in a very serious motor vehicle accident when a defendant was driving recklessly and nearly totaled her vehicle. The car itself sustained serious property damage, and she sustained some serious bodily injuries in the accident.
Okay. What kind of injuries did she have?
So JH's main injury was an injury to her ankle. And as the case moved along, we realized that JH was going to require surgery to repair her ankle. And this surgery was going to forever impact her, both her mobility in her ankle, as well as her ability to, resume life as normal. So it was a very serious injury with some very serious treatment involved as well.
Okay. Was she able to totally recover other than the scar on the ankle, or is there some lifelong impact it had on her?
Unfortunately, in this case, she is going to experience lifelong impact just because with an injury of that nature and that severity, surgical repair can get her close to 100%, but unfortunately never fully recovered, so to speak, in terms of she's still going to experience potential flare-ups as well as the need for some maintenance stuff in the future.
Okay. How did the insurance company respond to the case? Did they admit that they were at fault in the very beginning, or their driver was, or did they fight you on there, or did they fight on the injuries themselves?
So luckily in this case, State Farm was willing to work with us on the liability and recognize the fact that liability was clear. However, the true fight came with JH's the medical aspect of her case, which was the damages. They did not take as seriously her injuries in future treatment, as well as her ability to have full use of her ankle in the future, and wanted to discount a lot of the bills. And that's where we had to come in and basically project out the future expenses, as well as the future difficulties that JH was going to experience after this injury and after the surgery. So after a few months of back and forth with the insurance company, they started to realize that they were going to be facing a little bit more exposure than they had originally valued the case at or anticipated for. And that's when we were able to get the full amount of the policy tendered on the case.
Okay, great. So when you say the full amount of the policy was tendered, it basically means they offered the full amount of the insurance coverage that person bought. Is that right?
That is correct. So in this case, we were able to get all of the money that we know is available out there that was on the defendants and the actual insured's motor vehicle policies.
Great. It sounds like a great job there. Is there anything you learned in this particular case that's going to help you continue to be better in the future?
Certainly. So, one of the things that we learned is that, if we were to really break down the future damages and the impact that would have on the client with the injury of this nature, when we started to really break down like a per day expense, even if we put $10 or $15 a day on her ankle injury for her having to bear it, look at the scar, and we started projecting that out. And she's a very young lady. We realized that very quickly that amount got to be, if it made it to a jury and they were to award us even $10 to $15 a day on that ankle injury, we'd be looking at millions of dollars. And so once we broke down those expenses that way and kind of conveyed those to the insurance company and told them essentially that this is what we'd be telling a jury, then they quickly realized we may have a problem here on our hands. And that was definitely the big takeaway on this one is even though an ankle injury may seem small to an insurance company, it certainly does not seem small to the client and the person that has to deal with the injury.
Okay. John, thanks for talking to us. And sounds like you did a great job there. And JH was very happy with the result.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. Thanks for listening to today's call. Remember, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999. or you can order our free book, Victims Survive: A Guide to Car Accidents, at www.shanesmithlaw.com. We'll be going over another case next week and hope something we can learn from that, and hope to see you there.
98099999999. 980999999. Shanesmithlaw. In pain, call Shane.